Morning there, YouTube. Another Taurus High Point video coming at you. Taurus High Point production. I'm going to go over the tools that you need for accurizing or polishing a Molson-Nagant bolt. I couldn't think of the word polishing there for a minute. Everything pretty much in its entirety, with the exception of 4/0 steel wool. I don't have any on hand right now, but to use 4/0 steel wool, I used a Poplo, but it's a Dremel style. Jeweler's clamp, eBay for like $6 or something like that. Mother's bag, aluminum polish. Works great with guns. It's as good as flits. Not as runny as flits. And tons of itty bitty scraps of sandpaper. You want to start with 1,000 grit on the sandpaper. You don't want to drop any lower than 1,000 grit. None. You don't want to use jeweler's files. Files, heavy grit sandpaper. No. Emery cloth, depending on the grit, can be acceptable. People forget when you go in with these things and 120 grit sandpaper on the drum, you remove too much metal. You make the gun unsafe. You're not polishing then, you're actually doing what they call gunsmithing. And if you don't have the know-how behind that or the training behind that, it can become very dangerous for you and those around that weapon or firearm. Okay, so you want to stick with the simples. 1,000 grit sandpaper. Okay. I just happen to have some on hand here. But I bought, there it is. To do a bolt, I bought, and do this stuff, I bought this pack right here. It was off Amazon. It was a couple of bucks. And I'll show you right now. That's 1,000 grit sandpaper. I think I used maybe an inch of that from the end here. Maybe. And I didn't even use all of that up. I could still use it for another bolt. That's why I kept the pieces. Yeah, maybe an inch off of that. Maybe. I mean, you don't need to. You're trying to polish to bring out a mirror finish. You're not trying to negate or get rid of the tool markings. You start getting rid of those tool markings, you're cutting down into the metal, and that's something you don't want to do. You can polish over those tool markings. Make them somewhat uniform and make it a little bit less gritty, less chittery, if you would. But, yeah. Dremel polishing wheel only. mother's mag and or flits, either one. And the abrasive sandpaper you want in the 1,000 grit category or higher. 1,000 grit or higher. You don't want to remove metal from gun parts. It's not. Without the proper training, it's not a very safe practice. Taurus High Point Production, you choose, therefore you are responsible. I choose, therefore I am responsible. Tools from Olson Nagant. Never a file. Never any sandpaper below 1,000 grit. Let me correct myself. Tools for any gun polishing or any gun work. Unless you had the proper training, you don't want to break 1,000 grit sandpaper. You don't want to go to 900 grit, 800 grit. Keep it at 1,000 or higher. 1,000, 15, 2, 25. And a polishing wheel only. They make many different ones of those in different sizes. The videos I watched when the guys ran them, they said their pieces got hot. I don't know. I did mine with my bare hands holding the piece, but it didn't. It might have been. It was cooler yesterday. It was. I don't think it broke 77 or something like that outside. I did it early morning. It might have been in the 50s or 60s, and that might have kept the piece a little cooler for me. I don't know. But mine never got that hot. If you're running these things on something like that and it's getting that hot, you're gonna lose some of your temper in it, or you're going to temper it. One of the two. If it's tempered, it's going to shatter like glass. If you remove the temper, it's going to shatter like glass, from what they say. I'm not a forger. I can't tell you. But for safety's sake, you know, like I said, I think I worked at the whole thing for maybe 15, 20 minutes and then just kept going back throughout the day because I was bored. Little touch, little touch, little touch, and stop, and little touch, little touch, little touch. Until I got it to the finish I wanted. That was acceptable to me. Right? Remember, when you're working with guns and you're doing this stuff, proper training. I got a diploma on the wall behind me. I'm a little bit qualified. Just, I know YouTube likes to see the paperwork, so. Remember, if you're doing this stuff on your own, slow, easy, steady. Keep it 1,000 grit or higher and you'll stay safe. Minotaur's High Point production on some of the proper gunsmithing tools that I used on a Molson Nagant. Y'all have fun, stay safe out there.